a very happy moment. This park would give a huge lift to the gaming, animation, media and entertainment sector in the city of Hyderabad and make it as the game capital for the country. A lot of work has been done by the industry here, and now it's time for the government to catalyze the efforts put in by the industry and channelize them towards a final meaningful solution, which to my mind is the game park. Besides that, we also intend to bring out an exclusive policy for the sector. I mean, right now you're already there in the IT policy of the state, but now we would like to bring out an exclusive policy so that this sector gets a special attention, gets a specific attention, gets focused incentives, and that again should go a long way in bringing this sector up. So a presentation would be there on the policy as well. And again, this is a draft policy. This is the first cut. We would like to have inputs from you so that the same can then be formed up and we can finish the work of the policy formulation. Information technology is one of the major economic drivers for Andhra Pradesh. In fact, we do almost 15% of the country's work. Almost 13% of the country's exports are from Andhra Pradesh. And it has a huge role in the employment. We have more than 350,000 people who are directly employed in this sector. More than 1.5 million people are indirectly employed in this sector. In terms of the city, we are second to Bangalore in terms of our IT export performances. Our growth rates has always been more than the national average, and we're doing almost 55,000 crores work from Andhra Pradesh in terms of IT. And IT as such for the state also is about 40% of the total exports that we do from Andhra Pradesh are actually IT exports. So you can imagine what role IT has been playing and would continue to play in the economics of this state. We have grown large, we have grown big. It's almost 6.5 times in terms of the companies that we have. In terms of employment, more than 25 times. In terms of the exports, it's more than 150 times. More than 300 times in terms of the built-up space. We have more than 60 million square feet of space right now occupied by IT processing areas. And maybe a small portion of this would be also contributed by the game sector. And last 3 years also have been fairly reasonable for us. From 2010 to 2012, if you look at the slide here, more than 200 new companies. From 1,000, we have about 1,268 companies. In terms of the employment potential, as I mentioned to you, from 2.5, we have reached about 3.7, 3.2. And exports have also grown at the rate of about 15%. And in terms of the built-up space, also we have added about 15 million square feet in the last 2 to 3 years. Let's come to what the job on hand. We're talking about the gaming sector. We're talking about the animation and the gaming industry. Now, we've collected some figures, and there are sources which give us these information. In 2010, animation, VFX, post-production industry witnessed a growth of about 17.5%. And in terms of the Indian figures, this is the overall numbers. Rupees 23.6 billion, which makes it about 23,600 crores, the industry size. And Indian animation industry is growing at a rate of about 22%, which much more than the IT industry's growth rate, which is around 12 to 13%. And it's estimated to grow much faster, almost at 50%. These are the kind of rates which were there in the initial phase of the IT growth. And this particular vertical, the animation industry in India, is estimated to be about $500 million in 2008, and it's possibly much more now. It would be at least $1 billion industry by this time. If you look at this entire sector, and if you divide it into various components, animation entertainment, animation education, custom content development, multimedia web designing, these are the broad figures. You might be having better figures, but this is what we could collect from FICCI and the KPMG report. And it's assumed that the consolidation in the industry in the coming 3 to 5 years would be happening, and a lot of these small players would get absorbed by bigger players, and the studio model is going to gain prominence and dominance in the coming 3 to 5 years. At the same time, the current challenges of piracy, lack of effective distribution, all these things are going to get transformed.